38 islanders, plenty of Factor 50 and 8 weeks in the villa, but there could only be one winner. I'm Frances Taylor.
I'm Paul Jones.
I'm Susanna Lazarus.
And you know me, babes, I'm loyal.
And we're just some of the RadioTimes.com team who have brought you all the Love Island gossip throughout the entire summer. And now we're back with the big end of series review. So we're going to be talking about lots of different stuff, whether this series was actually as good as last summer, what the producers could maybe do next year, and also revealing the biggest villains, favourite islanders, and lots more that you've been voting for in your thousands on our RadioTimes.com poll. But first of all, guys, we've got to talk about last night's final. Now, did the right couple win? And also, what did you make of the show as a whole?
I think there was only going to be one winner, wasn't there? And it was the right couple. They've been together from the start. It feels as genuine as any Love Island coupledom has felt before, I think. And so, yeah, I think they're off to move in together apparently. It seems there wasn't anyone there who should have beaten them. Put it that way.
Yeah. I think actually it was the perfect order. I think having Laura second felt really right to me because she'd had such a rough time in that villa. She handled herself so gracefully. It was great to see her in that top two, and lucky Paul who snuck in with 2 weeks to go. And then I think actually having Josh and Kaz third and Megan and Wes fourth, that all just felt very right to me.
I think as well, like a lot of people underestimated the power of Laura. There was so much kind of stuff going around Twitter going, oh my God, how is she there? People were even saying, oh, Britney Spears has bought votes. All this kind of like conspiracy theory. But Laura was just, she was like we said this yesterday, she was like the Camilla of this year and she deserved to be there. But I think when we look back at it, I think we all agree, Jack and Danny, there was nobody else that had that bond. And I know, Paul, you said they felt as genuine as any Love Island winners had. To be honest, to me, they felt more genuine than Amber and Kem had last year.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think, definitely. I think they're kind of Nathan and Cara kind of material.
It's kind of, will they last outside the villa is a question that you don't know the answer to, really. I really hope so. I think they've got a better chance than probably anyone we've seen before.
I have to remember, actually, I would never have put money on it being Camilla and Jamie from last year to run the course. I don't think of the final four couples. I would necessarily have thought them, so you never know.
Well, having spoken to the exiting islanders and sort of as they come out each week, they've also Jack and Danny, but they've also said like who likely to stay together, likely to get married first. Josh and Kaz came up quite a lot, and I can sort of see that.
I'm a bit gutted they didn't come second, to be honest, because I absolutely love Laura right from the start. So funny, so genuine. Really can't say enough good things about her. However, it was Laura brackets and Paul. I mean, no one really cared about the fact that Paul was there. Whereas Josh and Kaz have had a really lovely relationship. You get the feeling it's really genuine, and so I think it would have been potentially better for that reason that they came second.
But then it was Camilla, Brackets and Jamie last year, and they are the ones who ran the course. I don't know. I have hopes for Laura and Paul. Everyone's saying they're going to break up with her at the airport. I think there might be something.
Also, he gets, after a string of men have kind of like treated her pretty badly, he should get something for just being the guy who didn't.
It was really nice. I personally want to see Laura remake the video for Toxic. Britney Spears, air hostess. I really want to see Britney and Laura do the air hostess from Toxic.
And that colour red really suits her as well.
Yeah.
Or I'm thinking...
You're thinking Virgin Airways?
Britney's in blue and Toxic.
I'm thinking of her.
And I want to see her
whoops, I did it again. Sorry.
I don't want to say I want to see her poison all the men who treated her badly along the way when she's handing out the drinks in Toxic. Laura does not do that on her airline. Let's just state that.
That was a great moment though last night.
It's not strictly her airline.
No.
Where she was talking about, kissing some frogs, and she's like, sorry, Wes. That was my moment of the final, I have to say. Although I do find those declarations, I know a lot of people were saying they had tears in their eyes. I do find it all a little bit cheesy.
Oh, yeah, bore off.
But it's a bit boring. And also, I should say as well, they bill it as being a massive twist at the end of the show. One couple will win the money, but it's split, and are they going to share it and all this stuff. I mean, at the end of the day, it's never in any question, no matter who wins, really, unless it was maybe, I don't know, Alex and Alexandra.
Wouldn't it have been amazing? I mean, in a way, no, but wouldn't it have been amazing, sort of, if Jack had just been playing this incredible long game and he'd just gone, no, 50 grand, me.
The thing is, the reality is that by being liked by the public, you can earn so much more money outside the villa. Why would you spend that money?
But it would have been brilliant.
To be honest, I could have seen Danny joking. I could have seen her saying, "Oh yeah, I'm going to take it." Oh no, I'm only kidding.
I was surprised that he didn't do the joke at least.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, I don't know.
yeah.
Well, obviously, it wasn't all about last night's final. This whole series has been really good, but really controversial. We've had a lot of continuity errors, a lot of reshot scenes as well. So, did the producers, do we think, meddle a bit too much this series?
Yes, a bit too much. It felt as if so there were the obvious things, like the things that called controversy, like Jack and Georgia kiss. Have been shot from different angles and in different times.
At least
which,
twice, if not more.
I think the sending that out of context footage into Casa Amor and upsetting Danny. Well, no one upsets Danny, all right. That's just
All right,
not,
Danny Dyer.
It's not, that's not, yeah, that's not done. And I just feel like it's the more general stuff as well, though, that there was just this more. I felt a little bit more like taking people off. Oh look, we're both going to go and sit on the terrace. Was just a little bit more contrived, a bit more obvious. Maybe it's because I knew it from last series. I'm not sure.
There was a lot of, can we go for a chat? Should we go for a chat? And it felt very, wasn't as natural as it would have been maybe in previous series. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know what you mean, exactly.
Yeah.
You did get that sense that more so than perhaps in previous series that there was that hand of the producer, which we do obviously know is in the villa. But I think what the key thing is it's fine to reshoot scenes if they're playing a game and they have to like get the cream in the right place or whatever. But I do think when you're having to film multiple times, really important things with the Georgia and Jack kiss, the fact that obviously she's going back to the villa, viewers are branding her a liar, and actually that's not really potentially the case. It's quite dangerous to mess
Yeah.
about
Loyal,
like that.
babes.
And you-
Loyal.
And I think
And you
we
can't-
filmed it.
I was just going to say, you can't cut out a whole relationship as well.
Exactly,
Like,
yeah.
which is what they seem to have done with Samira and Frankie. And like, she was really well liked. She had been on a similar journey in a way to Laura, having not been able to find the right guy. And she found this guy, as we found out later, who they're together on the outside at the moment, as far as we know. And I think viewers would have really liked to see that relationship blossom, and they probably would have survived.
And I think if you have a moment like, Islanders voting a couple into the hideaway, like that's a significant moment to happen in the series, and not to show it felt really heavy-handed. I do think we have to remember that this is, it's quite a feat what the Love Island producers do.
Absolutely,
They're
yeah.
making an hour, sometimes more than an hour of television, 6 days a week, turning it around so fast. So I think when it comes to continuity errors, sometimes I'm inclined to be a bit more forgiving than, say, a weekly show.
Completely.
But yes, I think with the overarching decisions like Samira and Frankie, like sending in Jack sex Ellie, I think it was a bit much this year, and it was sort of almost trying to stir up drama for drama's sake. And I think one of the reasons why Love Island is so successful is because it is a bit nicer on the whole than shows like Big Brother, which feels so contrived nowadays. So they shouldn't lose that.
Yeah, so I don't think they added anything by adding the sort of nasty controversies, because it would have been nicer to just see, like Samira, a nice relationship burgeoning after a bit of trouble.
Particularly with Samira. I mean, from day one we saw Samira and Alex were the kind of friendship couple, and we spent weeks looking at Alex, thinking about would Alex find love, what would happen with Alex, and every time Alex found a partner, we did spend episode after episode on their drama, on their, kind of getting it together and then it all inevitably falling apart. So, I mean, Samira was in the exact same situation, and there was so much love for her online, and it would have been so nice to see her story get that kind of equal weighting. I do agree, like, there's only so much you can do within these kind of things, but maybe just take a little step back and trust the show, let it breathe.
The thing I thought, because I agree as well, is getting that stuff into that hour, as you say, is no mean feat. And the reason that we loved last series so much is because they put together the storylines. There's so much cut out. On any series there'd be things we didn't see that we go, oh wow, if we'd seen that. But I just felt this series that actually there were some episodes that dragged a little bit. And you could have made those ones where, because when you get an episode where you go, that was a brilliant episode, and it was like bang, bang, all this stuff was brilliant. And there were quite a few where it's just like, oh, maybe do we need that conversation or just that sitting
sappy.
around the pool kind of thing? So
That's
I thought they could
probably-
have fit more of that good stuff in.
Probably as well, though, because it was an extra week this year that we had compared to last year. So we had 8 weeks of Love Island as opposed to 7. So I think, again, storylines and all that kind of stuff, at points it did feel like it dragged. But for this bit, I feel like I need to have made After Sun paddles for yes and no, but I haven't done any of that. But the big question, was this series as good as last year? Sarah?
I would say, in terms of creating buzz and getting people engaged, yes. In terms of giving me people I got invested in and relationships I got invested in, no. There was not Chris, Liv, Kem, Amber. That kind of foursome was just unreal last year. There was a real kind of dilemma around it. Then you had Camilla and Jamie, and you had Montana as well, and Cam and Montana at the start. You know, do you know what I mean, guys? Do you know what I mean? It was just so good. I don't think so.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think it was a real shame that there wasn't someone in there who shared a really fun bromance with Jack.
Yeah.
Because I think the fact that he ended up best friends with Dr. Alex, who at times is a bit when it comes to kind of banter and fun, I think...
We saw his poolside chat with Grace. That's his banter.
Exactly.
His GCSE French.
Wouldn't
So what are your hobbies?
Wouldn't it have been nice? Wouldn't Jack have fit so well into the Chris triangle? And wouldn't it have been nice to have someone this year to match him? And I think at times also the producers or you know, the people deciding how Love Islanders exited, you know, sometimes it was a bit too heavy-handed. You know, Megan and Wes coming in at the bottom of polls, but rather than being dumped, it would be the Islanders to decide who of the final, like the bottom three couples would go, and obviously Megan and Wes inevitably stayed in. I think having them in the final really undermined it a bit, because actually I don't think they're very well liked at all. So when it came to the last episodes devoting big chunks of time to Megan and Wes, I wasn't into that. I do think we should mention though, you know, if we're talking about being better, an average of 3.4 million people tuned into the final on
incredible.
Monday night.
Yeah.
That's just enormous.
It's an undeniable success in that sense. And I think we should say as well that we're making all these criticisms in the light of the fact that we absolutely loved it last year. We loved it last year. And we've just sat through...
Despite everything we just said.
8 weeks
money
of
on
it.
this.
It has basically been the centre of my life for the last 8 weeks. And, you know, we're criticising these things because we love it and because we think, OK, yeah, maybe it could have been a bit better, but it's kind of like, it's still massive. It's still a success.
I will say... Like, the one thing that kind of got me this series was there weren't as many natural conversations, I felt, of people just chatting and vibing and buzzing. But Wes, Jack and Josh and their little rhymes and their little beats when they get into their little
New Jack.
New Jack. Wes, New Jack and Josh, brilliant as a trio. I will say that. I will give them that. That was a highlight.
And we should totally credit them with, you know, bringing together Danny and Jack, because that's no mean feat. What a fantastic couple, like from the very start.
Absolutely. And you can't, as much, you know... I think beforehand we were thinking, well, they can't do the casting as well as last year, which they arguably they didn't. But I think we were thinking, oh, it could be so much worse than last year. And actually, the level was pretty good. And now we're kind of picking at little things.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, it's still a decent job they've done, right?
See, my fear though, so obviously last series, as we've just discussed, was more upbeat potentially, and it was a bit more happy. This series, it's been a lot more drama, melodrama, and obviously the viewing figures have gone up. Now, do we think the danger is that for next series, the producers will obviously be looking at the show and going, well, what can we do to make it even bigger? And will that mean that we'll get some silly format twists and it will sort of lose the flavour of Love Island?
I just think you've got the case study of Big Brother. That's almost like a warning, you know, like change it too much. X Factor,
Learn from
change
history,
it too much. Change it too much at your peril. Look at the biggest entertainment shows out there, BGT, Strictly. They've stuck to the same formula for years, and they're golden. And I think Love Island producers are savvy enough to know that that's what works.
And what they also do, which I think there's been this misconception, maybe amongst the people who make these shows, and I'm not saying the Love Island people, but that people want this controversy and they want nastiness, and that it's not the case. I just don't think it's the case. I think more people want to see people getting on and building friendships and relationships and stuff.
I just want to feel warm and fuzzy inside.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it should go down that route.
Look at the popularity of Camilla's conversation about feminism in last year's series. People really were enchanted by that. They loved it. It was so different. It was so positive. It was so, you know, building.
Yeah.
And it drew viewers in. So I think you're right. I think Love Island needs to kind of not change a thing, really. Don't become like X on the Beach. Don't become, you know, that kind of built on tension and horribleness.
Because those shows already exist.
Exactly.
We don't need any more of them.
And Chris and Cam are a prime example of how people getting on well does not need to be boring.
No.
It's the complete opposite, you know. So yeah, I think... I wonder if they've seen the backlash against some of the things that they did, and you hope that what they'll do is kind of take a step back from that stuff. We'll see.
Hopefully they'll learn from it. But I agree that actually the flavour for TV with the likes of Pop Idol and Simon Cowell, Mr. Nasty and Big Brother was to be mean, and that brought in the viewers many years ago. But actually I think we've seen a real shift, and Love Island has kind of led the way with that in the past few years. So long may it continue.
Yeah. And remember as well, that's just one final point.
I'm just holding my breath. Oh, yeah. Let it go. Yeah, go on.
that this show launched with a bigger audience than it finished with last year, which shows that although they've maintained it, it shows that good stuff, that positivity, was what brought people in the first place from last year.
And they'd be unwise to forget that. Last of all,
It's like a threat.
That is a threat. I will come after you. So we've got to obviously talk about our big end of term Love Island polls. We were asking loads of people on radiotimes.com to vote for best moment, biggest villain, all this sort of stuff. So we've got a couple of the results here. I'm going to start with Sarah. If you can whip your little bit of paper out there. I think yours is favourite Islander.
Okay,
is
yes.
that right?
So we asked you, the viewers, who your favourite Love Islander of 2018 was. And now, in a very particular order, I'm going to read it down from 4th to 1st. So in 4th place, she's loyal, babe. It's loyal G. Georgia, with 5%. In 3rd place, I think this is going to correspond quite a lot with what we might have seen last night, is Laura, who was on 8%. In 2nd was Jack, on 16%, but the winner, by a country mile, she's a proper sort. She's Danny Dyer's daughter. She's also called Danny Dyer, and she got 41%.
Is it
of
Danny
the
Dyer?
That's
vote.
amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
41% is huge.
That's bigger margin than I
Yeah.
thought it would have been, because Jack was popular. I thought Jack was more popular than that.
So did
Yeah,
I.
I did actually.
Is it just
yeah.
Danny Dyer winning? Is that basically
Yeah.
what's
Pretty
happened?
much. Well, Danny, I think, though, throughout the series, she was there for the girls. She was always very fair. I know she got a little bit caught up in the Laura Georgia kind of war at one stage, but like she called out Adam. She did everything. She made me feel like she was like me. She was like, I ain't even shaved my legs. I was just like, amazing.
Who wants to wear a thong? They're itchy.
Exactly.
TMI.
So true.
I loved it. Well, brilliant. And then we've got biggest villain, I
Little
think.
piece of paper I've been
next.
clutching.
Piece of paper.
Biggest villain. Interestingly, number 4, also Georgia. With
I
8%.
love that. What
She
a result.
inspires strong
loyal.
feelings, doesn't she?
It's incredible. I think she has so many detractors, but as many lovers.
Oh, one of
It's
the
so-
best Islanders of the series, without
Yeah.
a doubt. Like, if just for like the
What do you know
emotion.
about how many lovers she's got?
Do you know what? It did dampen down a bit after she left. I missed her. So.
Absolutely, that was a
It's
point
great
where I
telling.
thought
I did as
yeah.
well.
Too much meddling.
Good,
She'd have
good
stayed
character.
in.
I liked it better with her in.
We should say biggest villain number 3 in 3rd place, Dr. Alex George, 21% of the vote. Deserved, I'd
Yeah,
say.
again, I think he was quite came up late in the ranks the past
I
few
know
weeks.
we're not going to go into
No.
it now, but I feel like he's been slightly hard done by. I understand why that is, but I think it's been a bit.
You know, the moment that
leave
changed
it
it for
there.
me is when he expected Alexandra to be grateful for the fact that he was
Yes.
coupled with her.
Yes.
That was when I was
That
like,
was a bit-
no.
I completely agree with that.
Which is what her mum picked up on as well, which was amazing telly, I have to say.
Actually,
Don't
yes.
ever get rid of Meet the Parents.
I've forgotten about that. Okay, yeah, no, he's a villain.
We should also add that these polls ran in the last week of the show. So
Yeah.
this is,
True.
really focused on the point at which Alex turned from hero to villain. I think the rage is caught in this. Number 2, Adam Collard, 25% of the vote. Weeks
Absolutely.
on, we're still raging.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he got the girl as well, didn't he? He's now with Zara. And of course, winner with 35% of the vote, Megan Barton Hanson.
See, again, I'm quite surprised by how big that percentage is, especially as it's been in the last final week we've all been voting, because I think her and Wes have actually been all right together since they got together the second
I think
time.
we saw a really different side to Megan as well. Like, she seems a bit more kind of calm in herself and more confident in herself. But I think we talked about this yesterday, Francis. When it came to having to knock someone out, she still gunned for Laura at the last minute. So
Yeah,
Revealed
but
her
the true
true
colours.
colours.
Yeah.
You know what I wish we had a breakdown by gender of who voted in
This is
those
true.
particular things. And
It's
who
getting too political
I would
now.
find that quite
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
I've got a piece of paper in my pocket.
Oh, yes. Here it comes. I've forgotten what this one
It
is.
is Love Island's most controversial moment of 2018. In 3rd place, Danny has shown footage of Jack at Casa Amor. 19% of people voted for that.
No, I'm
Don't even
surprised that's
talk to
not
me,
higher.
producers.
I am very
Don't even talk to
surprised.
me.
It's
Yeah,
not
I'm surprised.
higher.
I'm
That
very
was my
surprised.
most controversial
I
moment,
thought
I
that
should
would be
say.
the most controversial
Yeah.
or the second most controversial.
Hundreds of complaints to Ofcom. wasn't it?
2,500
Yeah.
complaints.
In
Yeah.
second place, I think we'll see maybe that there's a pattern here when we get to number 1. In second place, Georgia and Jack's kiss, 27%. Obviously, that was extremely controversial, and it exposed maybe the fact that there are these reshoots and that it's a little bit more overproduced than we'd
Well, it's
had hoped.
controversial twofold as well,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
'cause
Because
it
she
happened in
claimed
the
to
first
be
place.
loyal,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then it had been
Loyal.
reshot.
It's a double whammy. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Should be potentially higher. But the winner is Megan Steele's Wes from Laura, 41%. And I think that may be something to do with it
Everyone
being
loves
Megan.
Laura, and everyone
Yeah.
everyone
And
doesn't
everyone-
like Megan, and everyone loves Laura, so I think that's a perfect
I think
storm.
in that case, it was the way Megan went about
It
it,
was
as well.
shameless.
You know how Laura said, thanks for talking to me about it before that? She could have taken Laura aside and been like, I got feelings for your man. I'm going to have a
Yeah.
word with him. But she didn't. She went up on the roof.
It was all handled really
In
badly.
Laura's shoes, In Laura's
What?
shoes. Yes. Laura
She-
brought this up. She
Was
was
she?
wearing Laura's shoes at the time.
My favourite thing, one of my
Well, I've
favourite
got
The
to
things.
hairbrush. You're going to say the
No,
hairbrush?
one of my favourite things in the series is when Megan wore EL's hoodie to the hideaway with Wes.
Oh my god.
And he
Yes,
spotted
yeah.
it. He was like, hold
Yeah.
on, that's my hoodie.
She's like having like these little digs at people because you've got to respect the thinking, the calculation that takes, or not.
I think we should have
but-
had a category that was sort of best use of clothing, which is
Yeah.
shoes, hoodie, and also after Megan falling out with Laura, going, "I use her hairbrush. What am I going to do?" Like she was absolutely devastated.
And we
about
wonder
that.
why she's villain number one.
But to be fair, to do a physical manifestation of the phrase "to be in someone else's shoes" is like quite impressive. And
Yeah.
that's,
So
she
meta.
really did want to be in her shoes.
She committed. Right, and lastly, we've got cringiest moment of Love Island 2018, another hotly contested category. Third place is Alexandra telling Paul she wants to kiss him on the terrace. Oh, it was awful. It was so...
I really
toe
felt for
curling.
her though, because she was clearly so out of
know.
her comfort zone, like really pushing herself, and then it obviously has
She'd
bounced
learned
back on her.
She
flirting
was-
techniques from Samira. Just
was
like go up
trying
and
to-
go, should we have a
Baby
kiss?
cakes.
Or, yeah.
She was trying to be more Love Island, wasn't she?
Yeah,
like,
she
she was
was.
trying to do the thing that you were supposed to do. But yeah,
And instead of coming off smooth and suave, it was all just very... It was mainly Paul's reaction, I have to say. We just sort of looked away and didn't even say anything. Oh, I really felt for
I
her.
didn't think it was that cringy. I
love
thought she was a
Alexandra.
bit. I thought it was quite sweet and she was quite cute doing it. But
I
yeah.
think Alexandra and her mum need their own ITV2 spin-off, I'm just going to say.
We will so watch that.
Citizen Kane.
So second place is, no surprise really, Georgia constantly saying she is
Loyal babe.
with 18%. Again, so cringy at every turn. It was just, it became a... I don't know. I kind of feel like she was definitely putting it on, and she knew what she was doing.
Do you
It
know
was
what?
so silly.
I got to the point where I did feel the hand of the producer was coming in because I felt like they were just telling her to say it at times, and people were just dropping it into too many conversations.
It's going to follow her around for the rest of her life.
Or
though,
was
isn't it?
she? Or was she having a bit of fun with people?
Possibly.
I'd like to
She's
think
a
she was, but I
performer.
don't
This is
know.
the thing. We forget Georgia is a performing arts student. You know what I mean? She knows how to get a crowd going. She got everybody's hearts racing the night of that challenge. She knows
yeah.
what she's doing. You know, I did love though when Paul came in and was like, "Yeah, real loyal that." And during their date, I just thought it was brilliant.
That was brilliant. The cringiest moment, apparently, according to you, 21% have said that it's Megan saying "kiss me" to Wes on the terrace. More terrace
Now,
action.
I would suggest once again that there is a common theme developing here.
Maybe
Yeah,
we
it's
could
quite
argue
similar.
that Megan's one of the best contestants because she clearly gets strong emotions out of you.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Look at it.
And
Look
it would have been a much worse series, similar to Georgia, without her in it. And I think, though, that moment, it was so, I don't know, so out there and so big ballsy. Wes was already still with Laura.
Yeah.
And she just took him up there and went, "So you're going to kiss me or what?" And he was like, kiss you? I don't
His
think he knew what he
reaction's brilliant.
His reaction was
was brilliant.
amazing.
His eyes nearly popped out his head. Though AL, I think when he came out of the villa, claimed that something similar had happened during that controversial kiss where AL kissed Megan in the kitchen in front of Alex. And AL was like, "Oh, what you guys didn't see was that she was like, I'll do something
Yeah,
to
remember
prove
him saying
it.
that.
Like, kiss me." So maybe this had happened before and they
Trait.
saved it for this. Just going to say, but yeah, I totally agree with that outcome.
Can I chip in my own favourite cringiest moments
You
to
can.
this?
You can.
Jack, when he walked through the bedroom and Megan and Wes were doing bits and then had to come back in again going, I know it's weird, and then marched back through again. That was my favourite cringy moment.
That was a really good moment.
I think my cringes. Sorry.
No, I was going to say that you've got another pole in your pocket. And
Have
that's
I?
That's not
No, I
a
haven't.
euphemism. You do it for the tux.
I haven't got two.
You did your tux vote.
Oh, sorry. I see what you mean. Right. Okay.
Can't get the staff.
This will all become clear. I was just going to. Can I just say my cringiest moment because it was the cringiest moment
No,
by far
yes, of
for
course
me.
you can.
It was Alex and Grace, him trying to chat her up with the hobbies line, and her just not saying anything. I think
She
if
goes
you,
to the gym.
I think if you watch that back, you may agree with me.
I think they deliberately put no music, no bird song, no nothing in the background of that. It was just let the silence speak for itself.
You're right. I do have my own
Do you have a
personal
poll? Paul's personal poll, the PPP.
personal
that I did last night. It was just who looks best in their tux after they got dressed for the first time in 8 weeks. And I think. Well, I don't know. You guys tell me. Jack won. I should have done it backwards.
You
Oh,
started
you've
now.
blown it
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Blown it now.
Jack won 44%. Paul with 36%, and then Wes and Josh with 10% and 9% each. So it was close. At one point, it was within 1% of the top two.
Sorry, carry on.
I thought that Paul looked very good, but I think that maybe Jack scrubs up better. Maybe it was the mood.
People
it was
have
the
said-
improvement from.
I know what you mean. Paul is a model, so you expect him
Yeah.
to look incredible.
There were whoops in my flat when Paul walked out
Yeah.
in his tux.
Yeah.
I should
Here's
have.
the thing, though. People
There was one in mine, and I was the only person watching last night.
People have said, though, that Jack has become more attractive as the series has gone on. And I think it's that people have fallen in love with his personality. Because if you put Jack side by side, Jack day 1, Jack day, what were we, 57?
56 or
58?
something.
Right?
That's
People
how many
get less for
hours of your
murder.
life.
The only
you spent.
difference is in that he's gotten a little bit of a tan. And I think it's true that Love Island, as you get to know a person, they either become more or less attractive based on their personality.
That and a
Just
little bit of stubble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But he does, yeah, I don't know. It's just when you haven't seen someone in clothes for all that time. I remember last year, the one that really struck me, I don't know why, it was Kem. It was just seeing Kem in clothes just seemed so wrong.
We do wear clothes in the evening, you know
Yeah.
that.
I know, but I don't know. Yeah,
Smart
maybe
clothes.
proper smart clothes, maybe. Yeah.
Never
yeah,
underestimate the power of a tux.
Yeah.
And
No,
that,
true.
if Love Island 2018 has taught us anything, it is that. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We don't know what we're going to do with our lives now at 9 o'clock every night. Who knows? But thanks so much, and we'll be back very soon, I'm sure.
The live videos are going to be really dull from now on.
What, just us sat in a room
Yeah, well,
doing
there's
nothing?
There's no Love Island, so we'll just be sitting here. Basically.
But I'm
Just talk about our lunch.
I'm
But
sure,
do
though.
still tune in.
I'm sure that we will still find things to talk about. So don't forget, if you've enjoyed this entire series and you want to see more of us, or maybe you
Good
don't want to see
point.
more of us, but still want to see lots of our great content, do like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You never know what we're going to throw at you next, really.
We never know.